Welcome
to the Danguage podcast.
the long-awaited first episode of the Danguage podcast. After like a long time of troubleshooting, we finally have our first episode
It took an hour and 30 minutes.
underway. Welcome.
Welcome. We're your hosts, Tien.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Tien again.
Tien, tell us a bit about yourself, Tien, so that the people who don't know you who are listening.
Well, I'll be real, half these people, actually 90% of the people I have recruited to listen to this podcast.
Imagine we go crazy, we go big. Anyway.
Okay. Little things about me. My name's Tien. I study physio at UCID.
God.
I became a Christian in year 11, so came from a non-Christian background, and now I'm a Christian. Some other things about me. I like pesto pasta. God. What about you, Ethan?
My name's Ethan. If you don't know me, I'm studying computer science at University of Sydney as well. And I come from a Christian family. I grew up Christian, and I'd say I've been a believer my whole life, which I think is different to Tien, so we have a bit of a different dynamic here.
Yes.
But we're both Christian brothers now.
Yes, Sirski.
And we hopefully will continue to be for a long time. So, why are we here?
Okay, why are we here? All right. First we got to talk about the origin of Danguage.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. So,
how long ago now? Since we started talking about it first. Look, I don't know how long you've
July
been telling
22nd.
people that Danguage is going to come around, but it's been a long time.
Bro, Danguage was a fever dream, all right? Last night was a movie, but basically the first idea came along on the 22nd of July 2024. And so the reason why was because I recorded a podcast. I went on someone's podcast and I was like, man, I love this.
I think a lot of these people might have seen that.
Yes.
Tien's testimony pod. You're talking about that, right?
Yes, but don't worry. If you haven't listened to it, you can listen to it.
We'll link in the description.
Possibly. But Danguage, you'll hear my testimony one day. All right. For now, all right, stop looking at the thing, man. All right, focus on me. Yeah. But anyway, because of that podcast, it led to me and Ethan going to our mate's 18th birthday party.
That's right.
And then basically this guy, he had 20,000 family members there, and it was just 4 or 5 of us boys, high school boys. And so we had to kill time, and we started thinking about...
Whoa, don't put it like it was a bad...
No.
Hey, shout out Lucas, by the way.
Shout out Lucas. And Elijah, and Brendan Ford.
That's my goats. But yeah, we were in a situation where we had to, we were just on our own end of the table, and we were like, we've got to pass the time a bit.
Yeah, and so we're thinking about just... what could the podcast name be? And so Ethan, can you tell us a little bit about...
No, okay. So if you want to hear the original podcast name, you're going to have to subscribe to our premiere episode on Patreon, because I'm afraid we actually cannot release it here. It's
X-rated.
Only certain ears are allowed to hear that. But if you know, you know, and I hope you're laughing right now. But we decided to call it Danguage.
And why Danguage?
I don't know.
What? Okay, so we were thinking about, we need a name that's sort of biblical, sort of not. Danguage is completely not biblical, but the idea, all right, do you remember the idea?
Remind me.
The tower.
Oh yeah. Yeah, at the time this video drops, we'll have hopefully our podcast has a logo, and it will help to understand what Danguage is about. But essentially the idea was if you're familiar with the Tower of Babel story in the Bible, where they begin to build it, and they're trying to reach heaven, but as they are doing so, suddenly they cannot speak and communicate to each other in their own language, because they got trolled, basically. And so the moral of the story for the podcast is not that we're going to be a failure, but it's that it's going to have something to do with the Bible.
That and also, I thought it was because we yap so much that we're speaking a different language. So are you speaking my language?
I don't yap as much as you. Anyway. Okay. So I think.
Wait, no, we haven't. And so that was the idea, and then what has happened till now?
Nothing.
Okay, so
we spent I don't even know how long talking about what we're gonna do, and making ideas. We have some fire segments coming up. Shout out Herman for helping us to brainstorm as well.
Hey, all I'm saying is if you're in a car ride with me, we're gonna think about some segments, all right? Because yeah, Danguage is a little bare right now. This episode might be a short one.
That's right. It's our pilot episode. You know, you're just getting to know us, but then in the
later episodes, we'll get some good
things. Will get crazy
stuff.
I'm looking forward to it. I think. All right, and then how about we share a bit about what the podcast is like for? What's it about?
Oh, okay. The structure of Danguage. Okay, so collecting all the ideas that we had from 1 year's worth of thinking, we thought basically we want to try and do like a 50-50 segment, all right? So 50% of the time we'll be yapping, and the 50% of the time we'll be talking about a specific thing in terms of the Bible. Yeah. So I think the main gist is if you're a non-Christian or you don't believe in God or Jesus, we hope that we can explain some jargon that Christians use. We'll sit down like this. We'll just be chatting and explaining certain words or certain phrases, or we don't even know yet, but we'll explain some Christian things. And if you have something you're curious about, later down the track, there will be a Google form, and you can ask any questions, and me and Ethan will try and answer them.
Yeah, I think that the idea is that we want it to be like enjoyable to listen to, but also, you know, like we talk about some things that are worth listening to as well. Like you actually learn something from this podcast, but also you don't sit there like, oh, this is boring, and you press the button, skip 5 seconds, but we'll make it like fun to listen to. Hopefully,
the goal is also to try and make this informational. So hopefully I can put this under the genre informational podcast.
Okay, well, should we start then? What's the thing we're gonna be talking about for a little bit today?
All right. Okay, so Ethan, I'm gonna play the non-Christian. All right.
Wait, what? Okay.
I mean, we can figure it out. We figure it out as we go.
Okay.
All right, now hear me out, Ethan. There's this word, man. It's called the word gospel.
Gospel.
What the heck does that mean, man?
Gospel. Do you know what it means? What do you think it means? I'm guessing you heard it before.
Well, okay. Back in the day when I wasn't a Christian, I was thinking about, everyone keeps saying the Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Luke, Gospel of John, right? And then I'm like, what the heck? Why is only 4 books called the Gospel, and then the rest are all like just the Bible? And I'm like, okay, I have no clue what this gospel word means.
You ever heard someone say like, that's gospel, or like gospel truth? Have you heard that like being said in like normal like talk?
Nah.
Okay. Anyway, some people might have, but basically it's a way of saying like that's the truth that you should stick to. Like, not even in a Christian sense. If someone says, "Oh yeah, like that fact, oh that's gospel truth, bro," like, yeah, you know what I mean? If people said that, and it's like they're saying like, okay, it's basically it's the truth that everybody should know, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the idea is very similar, right? It's the gospel is another word for some truth that we see, and in the Bible, the gospel is referring to the good news that Jesus brings, and it's a truth for us as well. I think that's why it's called the gospel. And so the reason it's in those 4 books is because those 4 books are the ones that talk about Jesus and are the ones that bring the gospel, the good news from God through Jesus for all of us.
Yeah. So gospel means good news.
I think that's a good way of putting it. Good news. And I believe it's good news for both Christians. Well, I think we both believe it's good news for both non-Christians and Christians as well.
And why is it important for everyone? Like, why is the gospel like a necessity? That makes sense?
I think you got to read the gospel or know the gospel, the Christian gospel, to understand why it's to everybody. But what it does say when you do read the gospel is that all are sinners and all need salvation, and that's what kind of pops up throughout the whole Bible. And the reason it's good news is because it means that all people can be saved from their sin through Jesus, and that's why the gospel is for everyone, and that's why Christians continue to spread the gospel or the good news to non-Christians around them, and that's why we as Christians continue to grow in our knowledge of the gospel and our love for it and for its truth, and we build our lives around it.
Okay, so you're adding new words into this vocabulary, man.
Please, what are you talking about?
You said sinners and salvation.
Sinners.
So what's sinners and sin? You said.
You heard of sin?
Heard it's bad stuff.
Yeah, sin is the way that the Bible describes human rejection of God. And so the way the Bible diagnoses it is that every single person who lives has sinned against God. And so maybe
has done wrong against
God.
God.
Done wrong in the eyes of God. And some people might not realize that because either they don't know God, or they don't know what God values, or they don't really know what they're doing. But what the Bible diagnoses is that everybody is sinful, no matter whether you think it or not, but that everybody is sinful. And what God says in the Bible is that the punishment for sin is death. And that's why you need this idea of salvation pops up, right? Because if you realize that, okay, well, if everybody is sinful, and if everybody then is deserving of death because that's what sin means, then surely that means that everybody's just going to die and stay dead forever. But then this is what the gospel shares to us, is that there is a way out. And if you know a bit more about the Bible, you'll know about there was old ways of doing it and new ways of doing it. But we might cover that in another episode over.
Later. Danguage episode 50 million.
But the gospel of Jesus Christ is that all can be saved from their sin because Jesus pays that punishment through his death on the cross. It means that we don't have to die for the punishment for our sin. And he rose again from the dead as the Lord, and we live under him.
So salvation is saving?
Yeah, being saved from basically eternal death and damnation.
Yep.
Or bad stuff, basically.
Oh, okay. So the word gospel means the good news. And what is the good news? It's the coming of Jesus and what Jesus has done.
That's right.
And so what Jesus does is actually save us from our sin, which is our wrongdoing from God or to God. Wrongdoing to God.
Rebellion against God, yeah.
Rebellion
in any
against
way.
God in any way. And so the punishment of sin is death forever.
That's right.
And
separation from God.
Okay, yep. And last thing is what Jesus does is he dies on a cross.
That's right.
That's what everyone says. Dies on a cross.
Yeah.
Then rises from the dead.
Yep.
And then goes to heaven.
And that's the essence of the gospel. But it doesn't stop there, right? It's not all done and dusted, but we're commanded to keep living for Jesus and to keep sharing his gospel with others. And that's why we're still talking about Jesus even 2,000 years later, because there is still salvation to be had for people who are not yet saved. And that's why we still continue to spread the gospel.
Yeah, and so when Jesus dies and then rises and all that, yada, 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 that brings us humanity salvation or being saved.
That's right.
So that we can go to heaven with God after.
Yeah, that's what God says. God says that we'll be with him. And if you read it right at the end of the Bible, in a book called Revelation, it talks about there won't be any more death.
Oh.
Right? There won't be any more kind of sadness or crying or pain. And so that's what you have to look forward to when you're with God and God is with all of us. In a different way than we would say God is with us right now, but it will be in its fulfillment at the end. Look, there's all things that we could talk about, I think, a bit more, but that's the essence of
the gospel. Essence of gospel.
So as Tien now, back to Tien.
Back to Tien.
What encourages you to keep wanting to spread the gospel? Maybe it might have something to do with you becoming a Christian, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, like two different sides of the coin, right? You got a guy, Ethan, where he's born into a Christian family and knows Jesus all his life. And then you got me where wasn't born into a Christian family and then now coming to faith. It's interesting because what I experienced, like becoming a Christian when I was 17. So 17 years of my life, didn't know Jesus, didn't really understand the point of the Bible and God and just the essence of that. And then now becoming a Christian. I think what motivates me to be a Christian, or not even be a Christian, just to change the way I live, is actually knowing how to live. I think a lot of people, especially when you're not a Christian, right? Like, how do you know how to live? I think that was a question that was running through my mind, like 24/7 during high school. And being like, just anxious about what does adult life look like and how do I live, yada, yada, yada. there was a lot of life circumstances, but I think the essence of it is there's this guy, or this God actually, who created this world, and he gives us a full how to live like book, aka the Bible. And so through that, it tells us how to live. And so actually, when I became a Christian, I think it was so helpful, because now I know actually how do I live a good and proper life in this world where we constantly do wrong. What encourages me is that when I live now, I know that I have full assurance as well that whatever I do, God has said so. I make sure my actions are based on the Bible, and that the Bible says do this, or this is the way you should think about things. And so I know that there's a proper way and there's a right way of living. And so, yeah, I mean, that's how I live now, and it's been pretty dubs.
What would you say to someone who heard that but responded with, I mean, they heard all about how, it's a way to live life, but then they see it as quite like restrictive, because there are lots of rules in the Bible, and we are told a lot of things on how to approach certain situations. So I can understand how to someone that would seem like it's quite restrictive in what you can do, but why is that maybe that's a good thing, or what do you think?
I think like the easy thing I can share is like doing drugs, or like having alcohol, smoking, right? I think in all essence, like humans have freedom to do whatever they want, right? But we all know as like humans that these things are bad for us. Simple as that. So should we touch that? No, right? And so I think God doesn't restrict us. God is just telling us how to live the best we can in this world. And so my thoughts is, because God loves us so much, he gives us the free will to decide what we do. And so with that free will, people can either decide to not listen to God and do things that will harm them, or do things that like God says is good, and know that like it is good for them. I think that's what I would say.
Shout out to all my Calvinists who might have something to say about that. But I think
wait, what?
Don't worry. I think I agree. It's God has, he's revealed things about himself and what he values and what he's like, and I think through Jesus he calls us to be like Jesus in every way that we can. I think the Bible helps us to do that. Would you say that how different would you say your life would look like, do you think, if you weren't a Christian at this point? 4 years down the track from where you were.
Bro, it'd just be hectic. I can't lie. I think uni life, you see a big like difference in human, like in just people, because you've suddenly like in high school you're under your parents and your parents watch over you and stuff, but then when you're in uni you're an adult at that point, and then you get the freedom to decide what you want to do. And so a lot of people and a lot of societies at uni like go crazy. Like I've heard lots of things about camps and drugs and yada yada yada. But like I think if I didn't like become a Christian, I think a lot of my personal desires or human desires would have came out, and honestly like I would have regretted doing what I did. But luckily, like becoming a Christian, I realized that these desires weren't good. I think simply as that. I think even though a lot of people just say, do what you want to do, like do you, like, man, some things you think in your head, it's kind of cooked.
Yeah. And I think like even the whole idea of maybe you're from a Christian background as well, and you're listening to Tien's story and you're like, oh yeah, some of those things I can relate to, but some of those things, are harder for me to relate to because I didn't have one of those moments or whatever.
Oh yeah.
In your testimony, if you know what that is. But I think we might have non-Christian listeners.
But no, I'm saying, bro, you're saying lots of jargon, bro.
That's right. Keep listening, and we'll explain what they mean. But yeah, for any of you who are who grew up in a Christian home like I did, I think one thing that I've recently come to realize that's encouraged me to have the same motivation to live out Jesus just as a non-Christian conversion might as well is like the fact that we are Christians in the from our parents and our families and those environments. I think those are testament to the fruit of Christian ministry. The fact that we are living in a society where two Christian parents can raise their children as Christians, I think it's showing to the fact that God is at work in all these places around us, and we are living fruit of God's work. And so, as amazing as many testimonies about, there's moments where you come to faith, not to downplay them at all, but there's just the same power in testimonies of people who have grown up in Christian houses as well. And so, for me, if it discourages you that you didn't have one of those moments, it doesn't discourage me, because the most important thing is that both of us right now are sitting in this room and Jesus is our Lord. And that's the most important thing, I think.
Amen. Oh, wait, I think the last thing I want to share about this is definitely. I've been to lots of camps, and for me, always wanted to hear other people's like how they came to faith or how they believe in Jesus. A lot of people who are born in Christian families always say that it's like a boring testimony and all that. I think it's really sad, because I think it's actually amazing that you, from the moment you were born, you actually knew Jesus, and so you had full assurance that you were saved from the get-go. I think a lot of people tend to not think about that. I think it's actually such a blessing, and sometimes for me it was really scary. 17 years of my life, and then Jesus could have been there, and then bang, I would have been gone to hell. I think that's crazy. So I think it's always great that when you were born, and you're born into a Christian family and you're a Christian now, I think from the moment you were born, you knew that actually, I know how to live properly and live good according to the Word of God. And so
yeah, I agree. Okay, now, did you bring in an item?
I didn't bring an item.
Did you have an item in mind?
I got nothing right now, bro.
Okay. We might have to cut this bit out.
No, we don't need to cut anything.
Should we explain one of the segment we're talking about that we might? I mean, it's something crazy. Do you want to intro it?
We'll intro the segment. We don't have anything.
It's not going to happen today, but
be keen for the next episode. We'll bring guests will bring their thing. All right.
True.
Okay. This segment we're gonna have is gonna be called Boom or Doom.
Boom or Doom. Boom or Doom.
All right.
Boom or Doom. Can you explain boom or doom?
Boom or doom is basically we bring an object in. All right. And so for our audio listeners, we'll explain exactly the object we brought.
That's right.
And then we have to explain. I don't know. What do we?
Why it's a boom? You're bringing in a boom. You're not bringing in a doom.
Yeah, you're trying not to bring a doom.
Yeah, you're bringing in. Okay, if you've seen. Okay, let's make a comparison. If you've seen Dude Perfect's in overtime.
Yeah,
cool, not cool, right? Like that. You want to bring in something cool, but you don't want to bring in something that's not cool. Or for those who know, hash out or crash out, one of those things. Basically, boom or doom.
That's cool.
We'll do that one maybe, but we're stealing that from another podcast. Those who know.
No, we needed
those who know.
Boom or doom. But
boom or doom.
We're stealing that one as well, right?
Yeah. Is boom or doom a thing already?
Don't you know the big booms? Don't worry.
I didn't know that was what it was from, but
don't worry. We're trial running. If this segment does not ever come in, you've guys seen the beta of Danguage.
Yeah. And then someone will bring in an item and we'll rate it. They'll talk about it and we'll see if they're on something, if they're got something, or if they're on something.
Do you got something, or are you on something? We're still thinking right now, so
yeah,
ideas are flowing even now as we're speaking.
All right,
Language.
Do you have anything else to cover apart from inviting people?
Nah.
Yeah, hopefully that was I don't know. Hopefully you still want to watch the next episode.
No, you guys definitely want to watch. There will be more goofy segments. I think this one was just more of a get to know.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to get the technology working. Look, we can't lie. Like
we would have done multiple trials, but this trial one and done.
Yeah. So please keep watching. We need viewer retention.
Please, yes, we would love for you guys to listen. Hey, I'm telling you, we're targeting the uni student audience.
Right.
And so do you know what they're doing? They're on the train every single day.
That's right. And if you're like me or Tien, you'll probably have train rides or at least public transport rides that are close to an hour. And that is the idea. Well, our podcast, probably the next couple episodes, not this one, will be closer to that time.
Yeah, we're trying to get to an hour so that your hour train ride can be filled with something better than Instagram Reels or TikToks.
Bro, Instagram Reels are so fire.
No. YouTube Shorts. But anyway, all right, last thing. Guys, we are not just the only people going to be on this podcast.
True. That's true. Tien, I haven't talked to many people, but Tien has some people in mind. If you're listening, and you might know who you are, and you might be here around this pool table very soon.
Oh, yes, it is a pool table. Sorry, we haven't even told the viewers, the audio listeners, our setting.
Do you want to tell a story of how you got it? I think it's quite interesting. Or do you not want to?
No, another time.
Okay, another
We're
time.
at the end of the podcast, bro.
Bro, they might have clicked off by now.
Story.
Okay, if you like us in real life, hopefully you trust us enough to bring you some entertaining
segments
and or just chats. Yeah.
But basically, we have a Google form. I created it like 2 days ago.
Yep.
But anyway, point is, you can give us feedback.
Tell us if you want to come on and talk with us. If you want to bring like some sort of idea or a topic of discussion, or if you don't want to come on and just want to tell us something to talk about.
Yeah, fill out the form.
We need ideas, please. Like seriously.
No, we're good.
Anyway, and what else? Is that it?
We've been your host. I'm Tien.
I'm Ethan.
Are you speaking our language?
Please watch the next episode. Bye.